Hello friends, welcome to Parthimes. Today we are going to see how to install IDE for Python programmers. So there are multiple IDEs that are available for a Python. So we'll see which is the best Python IDE that we can use. So if we search for download IDE for Python, the very first result it will show for a PyCharm, and it is most widely used and having a much extended features on it. That is the reason you'll see it on the top of uh, your screen. So when you click on this, I'll just make a click and click open it on new tab. So if you can see, once you click on that link, that will open the download page, and there you can find one professional and the one community. So for community, for only for development purpose, or um, for the new learners or the beginners, this is the most useful uh, download PyCharm uh, installables. So you can click the download for if you are going for learning purpose or creating or down contributing for a development purpose in Python. So for professionals who are going to be use scientific feature, graphical features, or including or integrating with the web applications or the web Python development, they should go with the professional. So once you download this, click on download. So there will be 30 days trial period for this. Once you download and install it, that on the date, so from that date the 30 days trial period will be allowed to use this application, and then if you wish you can go ahead and install that. So meanwhile it get downloaded, so we'll just review uh, the system requirement and installation instruction and other versions. So if you don't want to look into this downloads, I have already downloaded this local version on my local drives, so I'll just close this, so just to avoid the the bandwidth. So what is the current system requirement to install this PyCharm? So it requires 64 bit of Microsoft Office or Microsoft Windows for this, and minimum 2 GB RAM it needed, and 8 GB is recommended, because if you are going for higher version and have high graphical usage, then it's required 8 to 8 GB RAM, and a minimum 2.5 GB hard disk required, and the screen resolution you can keep it as it is as a minimum, and the most important is Python 2.7 or Python 3.5 or a newer version is applicable and is compatible to this. So for installation it's pretty simple. You have to just install this pycharm.exe and start installation wizard. We'll go through that, and if you want to look into that other versions or older versions, you can click on this link and you can get the older versions of PyCharm for Windows or different platforms. So once you download and complete professional PyCharm downloadables, you just click on double click on this exe, so it will start installation. And if you can see the publisher also, it shows on this. You have to simply click on run. Once you click on run, it start prompting whether you want to install this program and make changes on this computer. If you're by default, if you are not allowed all the applications to be installed on your system, this prompt will be there. So once you launch that exe, if you can see, the welcome PyCharm setup will launch this. You have to click on next and provide the location or the destination folder for PyCharm. So by default I'm selecting this as a default folder or the location. If you wish, you can change it anywhere, wherever you want. I click on next. Once you click on next, so there are multiple options. that you can choose, but most important is select add launchers directly to the path. So it is very much required whenever you install the any id for the python, because it by default picks up path as a variable. So once you select that, and if you wish you can select other applications also. So I'm selecting all the applicable things on this. Click on next. It will create or ask what exactly uh, the shortcut or the startup app programs should be listed as. So instead of JetBrains, I'll just rename it to PyCharm, and the next step would be the install. But before proceeding that, we just see what is the system requirement for this. So just to avoid the installation failures, we'll see the most important that might be available for all of and the default systems. But let's see what is the current python version it has been installed on your system. So how to check that? So you have to just run the command prompt and hit python. So once you hit the python, it will display the version of python installed on your system. So if you can see this, now it is been displaying as a 2.7 version that is compatible now. So you can proceed with the installation. And most important, for any id, make sure your java is latest and recently updated. So whether it's a PyCharm or the Eclipse, any IDs. So let's begin the installation. And if you can see, the path cannot be updated because its length is bigger than certain bytes. You can see more details on this, and definitely yes. Meanwhile, we can see the path in variable. You have to launch the my computer properties and then system properties from the advanced properties, and go to PyCharm. So if you can see, though it shows path cannot be updated, but it's taken as a user variable path already. So no need to be worried on this if it is prompted so. So you can simply click on OK and click OK for this window and minimize this to complete the installation for this ID. So if you can see, this icon is grayed out for now. Once the installation is get completed, it will launch with the icon. So let's wait for this completing installation process. It might take another few minutes, like 4 to 5 minutes. That's fine. So there will be two options it will be provided to you, like I want to manually reboot later or reboot it now. So for default, I'll reboot my system later on and click on finish. So once you've done that, you are free to launch the PyCharm. Though you don't reboot the system, it will launch the application. But I recommend to go for rebooting system and launch application for a better performance and uh, getting it uh, highly performed. So once you launch PyCharm, it will ask you to go through the user agreement that is mandatory before you continue. Just read it thoroughly and checkbox that I confirm that I have read and accepted all the terms and agreements. Once you click on continue, you can choose on the data sharing whether you want to share the data for the statistics or not. It's up to you. I'll share. I click on the don't send for now, and once that is done, the PyCharm is launched. So you can see the default tools, whether you want to go for a light version or the dark version. So probably I'll go for by default version, and you can go with downloading feature plugins like IDEA, Vim, or R language support. You can go with this and directly launch Python PyCharm. Once you launch it, so you can go with evaluate for free. So if you have already activated PyCharm for a paid version, you can use username or email, or you can choose activation code or the license server if you are using the enterprise license. And for standalone, there might be some activation code would be shared for individual programmers. So for now, I'll select for evaluate for free. But if you want to buy the license, there is option on this right hand corner, buy license, that you can choose and go through the step-by-step procedure for buying the PyCharm. So for a free version, you can go with for a beginners, I would suggest to go with this send me tips PyCharm for faster. You can get the email notification or the email suggestion how to use a PyCharm, and and the tips for it. Then tell me about the new product features as they come out, like updating or notifying the users whether new version is available. So let's go and continue with evaluate. So once you click on evaluate, that will ask you for opening existing project or the create new project and get from version control. So get from version control is nothing but you can directly get the code from code repository. So for now, let's create the new project and test whether my application is working or not. And if you can see, it will take by default the pure Python or Django or other application toolkits. So for now, I'll just go with the pure Python, and you can choose a pipe environment or a conda, but for now we'll go with the virtual environment. And you can choose if you have any existing interpreter uh, you have already developed or you're using. But for now, let's go with a new environment that we are using, and by default it is getting the interpreter from Python installation. So let's go and create it. And that will go and take you to the first tip of the video. So you can go with tips if you wish to go ahead. For now, I'll just close this. And whenever you create the first time, it's trying to create the virtual environment for you to run the written codes. So once it is done, it will launch the project windows. Now if you can see here, the things project, if you can see libraries, scripts, whatever you want to use, you can directly go ahead. Now check on create. You can create the package, but also there is an option you can create the multiple HTML files or style sheet, JavaScript or TypeScript or package JSON file. So these are the supporting files that might you need it for web development purpose. So let's choose a Python file and test whether our installation is working or not. So let's say test.py hit enter. That will launch you the first page, and you can start directly coding on it. And if you can see, this is a pretty good. It is automatically taking the parenthesis and say hello world, which is the most important and most basic program that you can test. So for running, you can choose the run option, and there is a shortcut called the Alt Shift and F10. So once you run it, there will be two options. You can choose test by. That will give the output over here. So this is what you can go ahead and test your installation for Python. So for today's video, what we have covered, we have installed this PyCharm from open source, and how to test this. So I hope this will useful for the beginners and the professionals who want to install the PyCharm on their Windows. So thanks for watching this video, and please do subscribe.